Baru held the wolf pup, unable to do anything but watch. The wolf pup trembled in Baru's arms. Suho stood tall, gripping his sword tightly, his sharp gaze locked onto Brocky. The tension in the air was palpable, the weight of the moment settling heavily around them. Just then, a notification appeared before him. Quest arrival. Quest guide. Emergency quest. Hunt the hyenas. Ensure safety by defeating Hyena Brocky. Suho observed Hyena Brocky with a sharp gaze, acknowledging the name with a hint of curiosity. Questions filled his mind as he analyzed the situation. The existence of a monster, forming a guild while also engaging in human trafficking, was perplexing. There had to be a deeper connection, perhaps even a link to Itarim. The tense atmosphere was suddenly interrupted by the desperate voices of Brocky's tied-up hunters. They pleaded for their leader to free them. One of them cried out, insisting that Suho was no ordinary opponent. Suho refused to stand by and let it happen. Before he could act, Brocky's jaws stretched open, wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Without hesitation, he lunged at the restrained hunters, his predatory instincts taking over as he attacked them mercilessly. Suho's face twisted in shock as he watched the brutal scene unfold. Brocky sneered, his eyes gleaming with disdain. He scoffed at the idea of needing help against an opponent like Suho. To him, those who didn't know their place were nothing more than prey. Suho shouted Brocky's name, gripping his sword tightly as he launched a fierce attack. Brocky, unfazed, raised his claw and effortlessly blocked the strike, his sharp talons clashing against the blade with a piercing screech. Suho's voice rang with anger as he questioned Brocky's ruthless actions, but Brocky only sneered, declaring that the strong had no need for justification. In a flash, Suho was sent flying, through a wall from the sheer force of Brocky's strike. He barely had time to steady himself before noticing another attack coming his way, swiftly dodging just in time. Brocky wasted no time launching another swift attack. Suho raised his sword just in time to block, the force sending vibrations through his arms. Before he could counter, Brocky's claws came slashing down again, forcing Suho to react quickly. Brocky stomped his foot into the ground, unleashing a shockwave that shattered the stone beneath him. As debris scattered, he sensed movement above. Suho had already launched into the air, his sword crackling with energy as he unleashed Storm Slash, a powerful arc slicing downward. Brocky let out a mocking laugh, unfazed by the attack. His confidence radiated as he stood firm, scoffing at the attempt. To him, such an assault was unworthy of the monarch of Fang's relic. Suho drove his sword into Brocky's back, his grip tightening as he pushed forward. Refusing to let up, he commanded his blade to rotate, delivering a devastating blow. Meanwhile, Raken Fang watched in disbelief, his voice filled with anguish. He couldn't understand how Brocky, once loyal and honorable, had become this way. The one who had once sworn allegiance to Sir Raken now stood as something unrecognizable. Brocky stood frozen, confusion clouding his mind as the words echoed within him. Had he truly honored Raken? Doubt crept in, and the image of Raken in his memory shattered like fragile glass. A surge of rage and denial overtook him. With a roar, he seized the sword lodged in his back, yanking it free and hurling it to the ground. The blade struck the stone floor with force, shattering upon impact. Brocky's eyes burned with defiance as he dismissed any respect for Raken, acknowledging that he had only submitted to his strength in the past. The thought of continuing a weak existence was unthinkable. As Suho called out to Fang in concern, Brocky sneered, seizing the opportunity. Without much hesitation, he delivered a powerful punch to Suho's stomach, aiming to crush him with sheer force. Pain shot through Suho's body, his bones feeling as if they were on the verge of breaking. However, the thought of his father, possibly fighting his own battles somewhere else at that very moment, reignited his resolve. Suho stood as shadows gathered around his hands, forming into a dark gauntlet. With unwavering force, he struck Brocky with a powerful punch. The impact sent shockwaves through the air, but Suho remained firm. He couldn't collapse here. Not now. Brocky and Suho exchanged powerful blows, their attacks shaking the ground beneath them. Each strike was met with an equally fierce counter. The broken sword lay on the ground, strength leaked from its fragmented body, its essence dissipating into the air. A lingering thought echoed from within. Was this the end? Was it truly being destroyed like this? Even the future of the Fangs now rested entirely on Sung Suho alone. Yet, a desperate will remained, a yearning to fight, a desire to keep going. The wolf pup struggled to stand, its small frame trembling with determination. Observing the scene, the broken sword seemed to resonate with understanding. It recognized the pup as Raikon's descendant and realized that Suho's unwavering fighting spirit had ignited something within the young creature. With its remaining strength, the sword made its final decision, to transfer its lingering power to the descendant. The young descendant absorbed the power, its small body now radiating a crimson aura. Meanwhile, Suho was sent flying from Brocky's attack, crashing into the ground with force. Struggling to stand, he felt the weight of his injuries. His health had plummeted from 2,350 to just 21. Doubt crept into his mind as he questioned himself. He had grown stronger, but was it enough to defeat Brocky? Brocky sneered, mocking Suho's resilience. Despite being nothing more than a mere worm, he had managed to hold on for quite some time. Without hesitation, Brocky launched another, powerful attack. Suho, unable to move, felt the weight of exhaustion and pain pressing down on him. Just as the attack was about to land, a blur of motion dashed forward. The young descendant, filled with newfound strength, sank its teeth into Brocky's hand, stopping the strike, meant for Suho. Suho stared in confusion at the young descendant, surprised by its sudden intervention. Brocky, now furious, glared at his bleeding hand where the bite marks were deep. The young wolf stood beside Suho, growling with determination. Then, a notification appeared before Suho. Fang's descendant pays tribute to the player's fighting spirit. Do you want to recruit Fang's descendant as a colleague? Suho's eyes widened as he processed the sudden notification. The Fang's descendant? Was it the same little wolf from earlier? The system's offer lingered before him, presenting the opportunity to recruit the young creature as a colleague.